Ooh, might make your head blow off.
Hey, yo, it's a talk show host, Kaynah Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, alpha male G-O-D, one half of Relations. You want to hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good, and welcome to an all-new episode of Relations. My name is Kaynah Lassiter.
Say it with me now. Alpha male G-O-D, 51 Spade, a.k.a. Ninja to Love to Hate. I be in the building.
We got two topics in 1 hour. The first topic is, can you prevent cheating? And the second topic is all about your hoe stage.
What is it?
Yeah, what is your hoe stage exactly is really the topic. We want to know exactly what it is. And we should probably just ride out with that first. What is your hoe stage exactly? Like, what is it? And I don't even know really if men actually go through something they would actually call a hoe stage. And I think it's because in most cases men remain hoes like most of their lives. But women, like...
I rebuke that.
Well, you can rebuke it all day, but it's fact for most men. I said for most men, I don't think you drop wanting as much vagina as possible. For women, I think...
Hold on. So because you want pussy, that makes you a hoe?
I mean, it's hoe-ish.
No. It's either you a hoe or you're not. Because that's, I mean, that would be his natural thing to want. So I'm just trying to figure out, like...
Yeah, but
so numbers don't have anything to do with it. Are you including numbers in that? Are you saying like he's chasing a bunch of sex?
What I'm saying is, I think since the topic is what is your hoe stage exactly, we're going to focus on that. And that has something to do with what's going on in your mind, I think.
Okay.
So a man, in his mind, I don't think there's ever a time where he's like, you know what? I think one vagina is where I want to be.
But see, that's not true. Because I've met men that have said that to me. Like, even growing up, I had 4 roommates. One of the oldest roommates would, at that point in time, I think I had to be probably 18 or 19. He was probably like 25. And even at 25, he was like, you know, Spade, you gonna get tired of being in these clubs chasing these women. And I said, I highly doubt it. But for him, at that age of 25, he was already looking for one person to settle down with. And that's at 25.
And that's pretty young to have that type of idea. So, I mean, I guess if the intelligent thing to say is not everybody, but I think most men, if we had 100 men in the room and we asked them even when they think they would slow down, or when do you think you are going to want just one woman and be good with that for the rest of your life, I think it's going to be in the latter days than the typical women that we're going to ask that same question. I think the statistic will be much higher as when they start wanting to be with just one woman. I mean, with one man.
Okay.
One woman too, but yeah. Just one man. I think you start narrowing it down to wanting to be more monogamous early. Women want to be monogamous early. That's the right terminology.
You say women?
Yeah, I think women want to be monogamous earlier than men want to be.
I don't think so. Not now. I'm gonna say probably back in the day you would say I would agree with you, but I'm gonna say not now, because you have so many women now who say that they are quote unquote independent. They can do bad by themselves. They don't need no man. I make my own money, and they in the younger stage of themselves, so they think that dating is good for them, which to me creates a whole stage, because you're dating someone, can't even figure it out. If this don't work out, they throw this man away. Now they dating somebody else, have sex with this person, throw this person away, and then y'all go through spells where it's like, well,
but
I just
I
don't
wouldn't
need
even
a man.
call that a whole stage though. That's why we said, what is your whole stage exactly? That person has decided, you know what, I'm successful, I just want to date and I don't want to be committed. So I know where that came from, because I said women want to be monogamous sooner. So I know why you reply that way. But I think that is still a different frame of mind and a different circumstance to be in, rather than the frame of mind you're in when you're in your whole stage. Because when I was in mine, it wasn't about, I'm independent and I got my own money and I just want to date. That definitely wasn't my frame of mind at that point.
But that's the thing about it. When you in your whole stage, I feel like no one knows they in their whole stage. So that's that.
You
that,
know.
Well, I'm not saying that. Like what I just described right now, from the outside looking in, I don't give a fuck. Like if she's dating and she's going from man to man, that's hoeing to me. So I don't look at that as because you give, like if you're dating and you're not having sex. To me, that's you being a woman and dating and trying to figure out who's the right person for you. Keep in mind in the words that I'm saying now. If you dating this guy, having sex with this guy, then throw this guy away, then go to the next guy, that's hoeing to me. So you're not only using your sexuality, but you ain't just dating to try to figure out. You also fulfilling your needs. So that's hoeing to me. And if you ask someone just like what you just said, you'll be like, well, that's not hoeing because she out there, she's dating, but she's fucking. So you hoeing.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Technically, if you want to call her a hoe because she's not having sex with just one person.
What would you say with a man doing that?
I would say he's being hoish.
Exactly. So how could it be that for a man and not be that for a woman?
Because I think what matters is the frame of mind that the person is in. I do not think a man even associates having multiple women as a whole stage or as a negative because they are just going with their nature. I don't think it's in a woman's nature to have sex with multiple people. But I could be proven wrong scientifically, I guess.
But that's why
I don't think it's in her nature. So I think it goes against the nature to even want to have sex with more than one man.
But that's why I said from the outside looking in. So that's why I said like a man. Yeah, you're right. A man might not look at that as a whole stage, but that don't mean that's not what it's called, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Just because a woman is sitting there saying like, "Hey, I'm dating," but then you having sexual pleasure from a man and you going, hey, this don't work out, this don't work out. Y'all go through periods where y'all trying women and every other thing. It don't have to necessarily just be like I'm trying to figure out. I would classify it in a whole stage if I was to view that woman. Me.
I get it. I just think that's why I liked the question, because it's not like we've never visited the topic of being promiscuous and things like that. What struck me about the topic is, what is your whole stage exactly? Okay. And when it was posed that way, I went to what I was going through mentally as a young adult to equate to have to explain what my whole stage was. And even though, say the word whole stage, the whole phrase itself has it's said in negative context, but I thought at the time my whole stage was a positive place to be, only because at the time falling in love was just not smart. If you're away at school and you are focused on finding your husband, that might be a little, I'm not saying it's wrong, I would say it might be a little foolish, because the other people that are away at college are there to get their education and to find a career, not to find love in particular. Not to say there aren't people who dated in school, fell in love, got married, and had a nice life. What I'm saying is, you do not go off to college to fall in love. You go off to college to do your work and to graduate and to get a career and then fall in love. So if you are telling all your friends, oh my God, I'm going off to FAMU, I am going to find my husband, they might say your head is in the wrong place. I know your parents would. So for me going off to college, it was me and me saying, you know what, I don't need a relationship. That was me being a smart girl at the time. It was me saying, you know what, I'm not going to put myself in a position to be somebody who's crying every other semester about a different boyfriend. I'm in love. He did me dirty. Of course, it's not the place to fall in love. It's not the place to ask another person to fall in love with you when it's 1,000 girls wanting your attention. So it's not the best place to put a man in mentally in your freshman year. And you're like, I don't want you looking at nobody else. It's me and you. We're in a monogamous relationship. It's just not smart. So when I went off to school, I let all my suitors know, or the people who seemed interested in me, that a relationship really wasn't, or not having a relationship wasn't a deal breaker. Because a lot of times they would ask, well, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the term was back then, but there's a way to ask if you down. And I don't know what the phrase was or what people said, or maybe they just said, you down. I don't know. But whatever it was, I felt like I needed to communicate that, it's not a big deal that we don't have to be in a relationship. It's not a big deal. Yes, we can have sex, and I'm not going to be clingy. That dialogue was important to have for me in school, because I didn't want to seem the opposite.
I disagree. I understand exactly where you're coming from, but I disagree. Because I feel like when you fall in love, it doesn't really matter where you is. I don't think no one goes into the idea of love with a place, time, or anything. I think it's one of those things that just no one goes to work and be like, hey, I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna fall in love. No, it just happened.
Yeah.
So if you going to school, but my issue with what you're saying is when I look at something like that, I think that's what's damaging to women and how women end up with a bunch of baggage is because what I look at that is settling. Hey, I don't want to make this dude do this, so I'm just gonna settle with, hey, not having a relationship. And then at the same point in time, when y'all grow up, y'all say, hey, where are the real men at? Where are the gentlemen? Where are all the qualifications of what you're looking for? And most men that talk amongst other men, this is why men won't commit. It's like almost saying like, well, shit, I'm getting the milk, so what the fuck I need to buy the cow for? And that's what you're presenting when you come at going to college is that way. You know, like I feel like if you gonna do it and I say you gonna date, yeah, you can date, but now you're talking about a situationship where the guy doesn't even really take you serious. And I'm talking from a man standpoint. Like I wouldn't take a woman serious. I would want them.
Even at 18, we're in our freshman year. Why? I'm trying to figure out, even with you having a daughter, okay, sending her off to school, how do you even have an intelligent conversation with a young female and encourage her, not to say, hey, date to find your husband. Date does not mean have sex. But how do you send her out into the world with that type of mentality? It seems like it would be smarter to teach her, responsible sex and not making herself vulnerable to liars. Because I think when you send a young woman out in the world that, okay, you deserve a commitment, because she does, and telling her is that's okay. But sending her out in the world like that will make a person lie to her quickly. They're going to feel like, well, damn, she fine, but I can't get her, obviously, because she on this commitment thing. So why don't I just tell her that, hey, I'm down for the commitment, just to get her heavily involved, instead of telling her, hey, you know what? There is going to be a line. There's going to be a gray line, a thick gray line. And some people you're going to choose to be involved with, but on a certain level. Okay. And there's going to be people that you meet that are going to be in levels in your life. And they're going to be in those levels until they prove to you that they're ready for the next level. And sending them out in the world and saying, well, those people on the lower levels don't have sex with them and only have sex at the top is not realistic. That's not going to happen. Okay. So I kind of am where you're teaching her what real life is. And real life is you're going to get involved with people that have other agendas. So instead of making them come up with an agenda, present yourself more neutral based. Oh, you don't want to be in a commitment? You know what? That's not entirely a deal breaker. Talk to me more about it. Yeah. Because as soon as you show up at the table as a snob, well, you know what? I'm only on a date. You're going to date me for a month. I'm not having sex with you. It's like you're laying out your list. You're going to get lied to or rejected because you didn't present the gray area. And sometimes the gray area is what people need Sometimes the gray area is what people need for them to be comfortable telling you the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you are just someone who was like, I don't do this, I don't do this, I won't do that, and I won't do this, you are creating someone to come up with an agenda. Because now on their mind, how can I make this happen? She don't do this, but what can I do? You understand? You're creating that type of scenario because you got all I don't do this and I don't do that. Sometimes you have to be neutral and say, you know what? That's not entirely a deal breaker. Talk to me more about it. Let me get to know more of you, and maybe this can go this way or that way. I think that we should make women more agreeable, is what I'm trying to say. Not to have to go all to 100, but agreeable enough to get the truth. Sometimes you got to be the player. Seem like you're okay with something to get what the real agenda is. And you just have to live in the gray area, I believe, until you find the right person. You have to be in the gray. And that's where I was, because I wasn't a savage hoe. I didn't dress in short shit and go to the club and be like, I'm DTF, down to fuck. I didn't say that. There wasn't a sign on my forehead that said I was down to fuck. But when I met someone that I really liked, I did not want to meet their representative. And in college, I wanted to make it clear, you play football, you might go to the league. That's awesome. You need to stay focused on your books and shit and like that. And then on Friday and Saturday, we can hook up and it's not a deal breaker. That made me a really cool person to be involved with, because I wasn't stalking them at their dorm. I wasn't blowing up their phone. I wasn't crying either. I wasn't getting lied to either, because I was in the neutral area. I was in the gray area that, hey, yeah, respect me. Don't call me a whore, and I'm not fucking your friends, but you know what I'm saying? You don't need to call me every day. You don't need to leave flowers and shit on my doorstep. You don't have to do all of those things. Would I have liked it? Yeah. I'm not telling a woman not to want those things for herself, but don't put yourself in a position to get lied to either and played. Because when you have that list of do's and don'ts, you get played. You even told me that yourself. When a girl hold off on you, you make it your life's mission to smash, and then after you smash, you leave her alone. Now, did you not say that on this show?
And you believe that line of bullshit that you just spewed out your mouth? Huh?
Of course I believe it. I turned out okay.
Yeah. See that word okay? Turning out okay. They have like a commercial right now that's like about a Snicker bar and stuff like that, and they be like, it's okay. Just okay. And that's how you sound right now. You might be okay, but with that, but also on this show you've told a story that when you was in college that someone got married on you.
Yeah.
And all that buddy shit that you just spewed out your mouth, that's why you got lied to. There's also a such thing in this world as like, hey, this is a dog-eat-dog world. It's wolves out here. And it's always going to be way more wolves out here than sheep. And that's basically like what you were. You were settling. And for whatever reason, either your parents or somebody didn't tell you that. I'd rather be told that it's a bunch of liars out here that's gonna be angling to get shit. Like anytime someone comes with nice, most people go on defense. Know why?
Because you know that person wants something from you.
And that doesn't work in reverse even for guys. Like that scenario that you just painted, that would never work for a guy. You know how many women a lot of times say that, hey, we just want the truth, we just want the truth. Guys can't tell the truth. Because imagine a bunch of guys just walking up to women like, hey, I really don't like you, just find you attractive, but just really want to just have sex with you, and you would get turned down. And then you would get turned down again, you get turned down again. But the guys that lie, that go through and y'all buy this line of bullshit that they doing, and all the
You're
same
buying
women,
it because that's what you presented that you wanted.
I let you talk. No. Guys that present that they just want sex don't want that. 9 times out of 10, they getting turned down for that. You're not gonna really meet a woman that's gonna be like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Like, we can just fuck. It's no ties, anything. Because you're telling our audience that, hey, just tell the truth. That doesn't work for guys. This is why guys actually lie. Because guys are often confronted with telling women the truth, and like you said, they end up like crying. Well, that's
when they're in their whole stage, exactly. When they feel like they got to lie on their dick.
They crying. We're not talking about what it is. We're talking about the truth of what you're talking about. Tell your kids and women and stuff like that about being agreeable. Like, are we telling them to be agreeable, or are we telling them to be a sucker? And I feel like
we're telling them definitely to be agreeable. Be someone that someone can talk to.
You telling them to be a sucker?
No, I'm not. I'm telling them to be someone that someone can sit down and not feel like there's a real big brick wall to climb over. You're setting yourself up for people to show them your representative.
I understand that, but there's no way that you're not going to meet a bunch of representatives. However cool that guy was that was with you, that said that he loved you and you was in a relationship, I bet you was heartbroken when you went up there and found he married somebody else. And I bet you 9 times out of 10, because this is the only thing a man can say, I ain't really know how to tell you.
And that's what he said.
No fucking shit. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, like, right now, that what you're talking about is why that does not work. It does not matter how cool you plan to be. It does not matter how transparent you tend to be. You got to remember, like, guys control relationships, women control sex. Each person wants something. You understand what I'm saying? Now, by you controlling sex, he's going to do whatever it is that he needed to do. But the woman that he married played a different game. And that's why she went down the aisle. You want to ask her the thing that she did to get him to commit at an early age of whenever, because that's in college when he got married, right? Yeah. Well, she did something that prevented all that. He still was in, quote unquote, his whole stage, but she still got his ass down the aisle. And you didn't get down the aisle being cool, being upfront, being like, hey, You don't have to commit to me, and that's why I was saying when guys meet women like that, they don't take you seriously. I wouldn't take you seriously. Would I smash? Yes. Would I string you along just for sex? Yes. But would I take you serious? No, I absolutely wouldn't. Because you're not even putting me in a position where I got to take myself and your situation serious. So why in the hell would I commit to you?
I get it, but I'm only going to disagree with you on this point. How can you even say you're taking the person serious or your situation serious if you're putting somebody in a position to want to fall in love at the wrong time in life? I think it would totally be opposite if we were talking about your son.
Okay, let me ask you
If you
this.
were having a conversation with your son and you're sending him off to school,
Let me ask you
you
this.
would totally tell him to be agreeable, be cool, and not to go after a commitment.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather be a divorcee or a baby mama?
Definitely a divorcee.
Okay, and this is what I'm telling you to do to the person. You're talking about at a wrong time of life. What women do at a wrong time of life is not make this man commit. Make them not talk about marriage. Make them not commit to them. And hold on. But we'll settle and say, hey, it's a situationship, and then fuck around and get pregnant. You rather get pregnant than putting a cap on. What is this for real? What is this relationship for real? Is this just sex for you, or are we looking for a future? This is what I'm saying. Like, make them look for a future. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Putting someone in a situation where you're making them make a future decision, which is a future decision for both of y'all, I feel is better than just going along and then, oops, an accident happened. Oops, I'm pregnant. Oops, and then you find out the real deal. Like, he really ain't your friend. He was just using you for sex. But guess what? You got a baby now. Versus, well, I married him. It just didn't work out. It was in the wrong time of life.
But listen, during that time that you're telling this person that you aren't really being in a non-committal thing is not a deal breaker, at the same time, you are behaving like someone who's not committed. I'm not having sex with the guys off at school without protection, so that can't happen to me. I'm not putting myself in that position to get pregnant. If we're not in a committed relationship and we're not your girlfriend, then you're not smashing without a condom. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not being completely dumb here by saying, hey, I don't need commitment. I need honesty. But while I'm saying that, I'm also asking you to strap up because I'm not the only person that you're having sex with. So I'm also not putting myself in a position. I'm not doing relationship shit. I'm actually I'm calling you, and most of the time, I'm texting. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you come through? Maybe he'll text the next month or whatever. Somebody led and we came through, we smashed, and we went back to our studies on Monday. That caused me from crying. I know I had that one incident, but out of 5 years of school, that's one boyfriend. Out of 5 years of college, that's one person that I allowed myself to get emotionally tied to, but that's what he wanted. He didn't respond to me the rest of the way the other guys responded because these guys were coming fresh off of football practice. These guys were focused. And I don't think there's anything wrong with meeting a girl in school that encourages you to be at football practice, to let's get into the league and worry about commitment later. Let's stay on top of them books. It's not the time to fall in love. Sometimes that is the girl that after school and the motherfuckers in the league that they remember. Because this is the bitch that was encouraging me to put all my all in practice and not have her at her house every fucking night. That's the type of role that I played. Now, did I end up with an NFL husband? No. But my motive was to not put myself in a position to be lied to and heartbroken because I left a situation of heartbreak. I wasn't trying to go into another one. I learned to, hey, maybe this is not the time to fall in love. So just go off and live life.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's absolutely wrong.
Yeah, but you didn't learn because you ended up back in another situation of heartbreak. And he remembered the person that he married because this is the woman that you're talking about that I bet you money that this is the person that was talking about commitment. Like, I get what you're saying. But that you're absolutely right. Those are the women that they remember because this one, right, LeBron, high school sweetheart, I bet you she wasn't just playing no backfield. I bet you money that she wasn't be like, hey, just go on and do. No. I bet you every step of the way she was like, it's us. It's going to be us. She want to make sure it's us. And that's going to make him look at her and be serious. Now, if we're talking about promiscuous state, where you're just saying, hey, I'm dating, I'm also saying, like, I don't agree with that. because I also feel like, what do you learn out of that? Like, what are you getting out of it? You getting a bunch of body counts. You getting a bunch of things that you will probably have to tell to your future husband about what you was doing. And when most men hear about body counts, things that you was doing, and then you a changed person, most men ain't happy about shit like that. Like, you have to divulge a lot of that shit. Mm-hmm. Men can do that, and it's no sweat off our back. So that's the other thing that you also have to remember. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even though I would say, I wouldn't think that you would want to have a whole stage like real early, because I feel like you just eating up time, going through a bunch of bodies, and then you wake up one day that's 30 and something, and then trying to get married, and then have to divulge all this shit.
That's true, but I just don't see any realistic way around it unless you're a virgin in the game. If you've never had sex, cool, because you don't know what you're missing. But to go from being in a relationship, being in a relationship, being in love, having sex, breaking up out of that relationship, you've already established some type of sexual character and some type of sexual routine that would be very hard to break just off the basis of, I have to wait till I get another boyfriend to have sex. That's right. That'd be great if our children were like that, but that's not the way life is. They're going to want to have sex again.
But there was someone that was probably telling you that, like a mama or your dad or parents that tell you, not to have sex early. And I'm agreeing with you when you're saying, like, if I just went that route. But that's what I'm saying. That route comes from you being agreeable to the man telling you from his representative of what it's going to be. Women have a bunch of things in their mind about like love and what relationships are and stuff like this. And this is how y'all get bamboozled. It's because that's what I've been saying the whole time, because men, but I'm not. You get hurt when you're. But that's why I'm saying don't go down that road. Is what I'm saying. Like, if you're not going down the road, so I feel like when you saying promiscuous state, I feel like you're worsening it. Like, I feel like once you get into that and then you're dating, then you giving away cookie and after cookie after cookie, I feel like you making it a worse scenario. Like, what are you really learning out of it?
I can tell you. If you asked, I can tell you what I learned. Okay.
Okay.
Number one, I learned what I like.
That's cool.
Sexually, I learned what I like. Okay, that's number one.
That's part of
but number two, I learned the game. Now I can say that I learned from my daddy or from my guy friends, but I really learned from a mix of all that. I had also a lot of guy friends in college. I don't click with females too much. So most of my friends were men. And I would be sitting around these men while they getting these calls and these texts from all these different women. And and I knew they were good guys. These are my friends. I play cards with them. I've met their mom. They are good friends to me. So I know they ain't the bottom of the barrel, but they have.
But last I checked, you can't steal pussy. So
that
don't mean that they bad just because they say they doing that.
But no, what I'm saying is a lot of guys who are off at school and that are not committing are looked at as negative and bad people. These were not bad guys, bad people. They were just they were just off to school, and I got that concept by sitting with them. And oh man, this girl crazy. Then there's a knock on the door. It's a girl showing up because she seen his car. Like, girls were doing stupid shit. And I'm sitting there looking at them do stupid shit with my homeboys. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be the girl that's the top of the conversation over the spade game because she's lost her mind over some dick. She got some dick and now she in love and she acting a damn fool. And I don't want to be that girl. So I became the girl where, you know what? I'm not going to show up because I see your car. When you at a party, what's up? You chin up, I'm chin up too. You want to dap me up, I dap your ass up too. You ain't going to have me out here in these streets looking crazy. That's my thing. Gotcha. Don't make me look crazy.
And you failed.
How?
Was you not looking crazy when you found out someone got married on you?
That's one time.
No.
College career.
It don't matter whether it was one time. I'd rather it be zero than one time.
But
last I checked, that's like me saying, hey, had you ever got burnt like 0 times or 1 time? I'm quite sure that everybody's going to be joining in to say, well, I'd rather go with 0 than 1. Like, what are you talking about? Like, one time someone had you looking stupid in these streets.
But that's because I fell in love and I shouldn't have been in the place. I should have said to myself then that this is not the right time for love.
Know why? because you sit there and said, I don't want to be one of those girls, and he suckered you just the same way that I'm trying to tell you that most women do when they become agreeable. Because you become sitting there looking at other suckers, talking about, I don't want to be a sucker, and became one. Like, you don't learn from that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you didn't play the game right. Sometimes, even when people are that close to it, there are things that people can look at, like, you didn't recognize weaknesses in yourself. So that's why you got played. Sometimes when people are studying shit, they think that they so smart that they can outsmart the game. And you can't outsmart the game. You're a woman. So you cannot outsmart the game. This shit has been going on since the beginning of time.
I think you can definitely prevent yourself from falling head over heels with people who are not in situations to be fall in love and heelsable.
Okay, so why it didn't work for you? This one time?
To me, for this one time, it didn't work for me because he was the exception to the rule. I didn't give him that speech.
He wasn't no exception to the rule.
He was I did not give him the, hey, I don't need commitment relationship. And the reason why I didn't is because he had a different set of circumstances. He was not in school. I was in college. He had graduated college already. He was on his way to play Major League Baseball.
Oh, so he played you all the way around.
He was on his way to the big time.
So
I approached that differently.
So this would have been my question to you. If I was one of your girlfriends, he's on his way to the majors. Why did he want you? This is some of the things that I would ask. This is some of the things.
Why would you even say it like that though?
Because that's what you would tell. You know why
he wants you?
You know why? Because that's what any smart girlfriend of you would probably say that to somebody else. I guarantee if someone was in a situation
not at that age,
if someone
not at that age, I wouldn't have. That's a good question to ask your girlfriend in her 30s and 40s. Yes, between 18 and 27, no one's gonna look in the mirror and be like, well, you know what? Why does he want me?
Guess what?
No one's gonna do that.
I didn't say you. I said the people that's around
even
you.
Even them, they were same age.
You was hanging around a bunch of stupid motherfuckers.
How would they know to ask that question? How would another person that's the same age as you know that that's even a relevant question? You know what, Kaynah? Why don't you think about this? Why does a Major League Baseball player want to be with you? Even if they thought that, even if they were like, what do you want with her? They wouldn't say that. Not at that age.
Where you from?
Daytona.
That's right. In Louisiana, we ask them type of questions. And up north, they ask those type of questions. It's motherfucking like, probably because you just in a slow city, a slow town. That's probably like that. That's probably what was going on. But you go in some of these places like Chicago, New York, like other places. The reason they IQ is a lot smarter because they have to grow up super duper fast, and they are 14, 15, 16 years old asking those type of questions.
Yeah. Well, we definitely didn't.
Okay, well that's why. So those friends that you was around that had
they
sucker,
was from Daytona too.
Oh, there you go. That had sucker on their forehead. All suckers sitting there not asking the appropriate question, and that's what I'm saying. Like if I was,
how can you can only say that that's an appropriate question right now at your age.
No,
there's no way you're being like.
I would have
if a 10 tried to holler at your boy with the sagging pants, a 10, a nurse. Somebody with her own money, her own place. You would not say to your homeboy, dog, what she want with you?
Yes, I would.
No, you
Yes, I would. Everybody in there, let me tell you something. This is how I know that you are definitely wrong. Even if you in a set of clique and you have 5 friends, everybody, you know what everybody's strength is in that shit, in that clique that you in. So if that person that you talking about don't really put a lot of girls and stuff, and a girl all of a sudden hollered at that dude, the first thing the rest of the set of friends would say...
But you would ask that in a joking way, though.
No, the fuck we wouldn't. That's the difference between men and women. You know what I'm saying? Because we
ain't gonna be like, dog, that's why not good enough for that girl.
Because men know that it's a money scenario or a money situation or something that you have that they want. So it's up for the guys to sit there and say, come on, dog. Like, we know damn well she don't want you. Like, she only with you for the money. Like, men are petty like that. Like we are really petty like that.
Yeah, we definitely
we would definitely say like, come on, man, she only with you for money, or she only like you because of this. Like at least real friends. Now, if it's not real, a real set of friends, they won't act.
I wouldn't even say that they're not my real. I wouldn't even say that about them that they weren't my real friends. I would just
they didn't know no better.
They did not know any better.
Shit.
Why the fuck would you ask somebody that's in front of you happy? I'm dating this guy. We're going off to Atlanta to see us. He's flying us in. Why would your friend come off as the hater and be like, you know what? But you are way out of this guy's league.
But I will want to tell you this, and this is also one of the things because I even started off this way. Another thing with guys, so I'm not sure about with women. Another thing with guys is guys tend to hang with older guys. So the older guy is actually the person that's actually saying it to the younger guy. So if I was like 18, just like I told you, like I had 4 roommates. The oldest one, I'm 18 at that time. The oldest one in there is 25. He's the one that's saying, hey, you gonna get tired of that? Hey, you gonna like? I'm not sure women. Like if you hanging around women all in y'all same age group, but typically I feel like women need an older OG to tell y'all like, listen, he playing you. Listen, like this is why he with you. It's just for sex. Like that to me, that's one of the major reasons why it happened. Because you don't have this older auntie, chick, sister, cousin, or whoever telling you that, and that's why you was getting played.
And I think all of us pretty much go through that, especially with our next topic of the night. Can you prevent someone from cheating? Like, what if you had... They saying
right.
They saying what?
They saying I was right.
He is not right. He's never right about shit.
Always hate. It's always hate.
Ain't no hate. They just, for some reason, I don't know. About?
Well, he says, well, that does work for about 40% of the time, but if girls want to fuck, they will. Doesn't matter. And if she's going to fuck you, just put the ball in her court, which does not happen too often.
Well, it happened for me.
Yeah, that's why you got played.
I didn't get played every time, and I'm not getting played now because I have the secret to preventing men from cheating and women. I think.
The what?
The second topic of the night is: can you prevent your spouse from cheating?
Oh, I gotta hear this.
You got the secret to that?
You got the secret to that?
Secret.
What would you say?
Let me know.
Yeah.
The peanut gallery is like, please put me down.
Yeah, I need to hear this. So I can debunk this. This is gonna be real easy.
This is gonna be a fight on set today. Okay.
It's gonna be some
Let's go. Let's go, Cleveland.
And this answer is not going to be liked, but the only way to prevent cheating is to give your spouse as much freedom to do what the fuck they want.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And I knew that was going to get that response.
Mm-hmm.
Setting boundaries for your spouse, setting red tape, locking them up, being jealous, does the opposite. It makes them curious about what the fuck you trying to keep them away from.
Gotcha.
If you're the type of person, and a lot of people, well, how do you prevent your person from cheating? Oh, girl, don't let him go to the club. Well, the only thing he want to do is go to the club now. The only thing he want to do, and when he at work, he might tell you he picked up a late shift just to go to that club. You have now planted a seed and telling a grown-ass man what he can't do. And as soon as you use the words CAN apostrophe T, as soon as the word can't comes out of your mouth, you have now been, that's a challenge. Because now he's going to prove to you that A, he is a grown-ass man, and 2, he makes all his own decisions. If he wants some other pussy, he's going to go get the other pussy. So make it clear in your household that if that is your choice, if that's your choice, not that I want you to have that choice, but if it's your choice to go out there and get other vagina, these are the guidelines that we need to go by. Can we have protection? Can I get a phone call? Can we get a discussion? There has got to be other alternatives in your vocabulary other than you can't. Because you are going to get proven wrong on some level. Whether you know it or not, you have got to give your person the space to be who the fuck they are when they need to be that person. And I guarantee you that they will always come back to the person who let them be themselves. They may stay in a 10, 20-year relationship with a person that's like that. Can't do this, can't do that. And they may stay there. But at some point, people realize that life is fucking short. Whether their friends are dropping dead, freak accidents, people start waking up to, you know what, I might die tomorrow. And this person has restricted me from doing the thing that is going to give me the most joy. And your ass is going to be ass out. Because when a person realizes they have one life to live, and that one life is theirs, they begin to do what they want to, whether you know it or not. That's my philosophy on that. I'm not saying that cheating is right. I'm just saying that setting limitations for other people that you do not control is stupid.
So this theory that you coming up with, you think that this prevents people from cheating? This theory that you giving?
I think it prevents them from being liars and cheaters. It doesn't prevent them from going out fucking other people, but it makes them more communicative with the person that they're with. because that person hasn't said, this is a deal breaker. I can't do this and you can't do that. Well, then you're going to get lied to and cheated on. You're making your situation a cheating situation. If I told my person, look, I know that you are not going to love, you don't want steak and baked potato every day of the week for the rest of your life. It's impossible for you to want one meal. So if it's impossible for you to eat your favorite food every night, then it is impossible for you to want me every night. Impossible. There's going to be a time, whether you're with me or away from me, that you feel like you just want to do something else. And when that time comes, I want you to think of me. Why? Because I want you to protect yourself. Because I want you to make a phone call. So I want you to think of me when you want some other pussy. Because there's some things I want you to remember before you get that other pussy. I don't want you to remember you can't do it, because that's going to make you do that thing. I want you to remember that all she asked me for was a phone call. And all she asked me for was to strap up.
Okay. Now you have spoken about like 5 minutes straight. So for what I'm finna say, I just don't want to be I just don't want to be interrupted.
I won't.
And also on Podbean, very first comment is, Jada and Will had the most open relationship there is, and she fucked over old boy, and did Will know about it? And this is the whole, I'm glad that we opening it up on Podbean, because this is exactly what we talking about right here.
That's a loaded question.
Hold on.
Right.
Did I just see?
Well, we're talking about Podbean, not you yet. You haven't started your statement.
I was about to,
Okay,
and then
go ahead.
and this is exactly what we was talking about right here. The whole thing that you saying about people giving people the open opportunity to do whatever it is they want and think of, and this and that. Like, really, at the end of the day, there's no way to prevent cheating. A cheater is a cheater. If he want to cheat, he's going to cheat. And the biggest thing also about, or misconception about, like, love, people in general, like, don't really understand the idea of love anyway. They make it the idea of, if I'm controlling this person, they think love can be controlled. Like, let me give this person boundaries and stuff like that, or let me put it a different way. That doesn't work either. Like, you can give someone the world, and if that person want to cheat or meet somebody else, or time goes by, like, you could be really infatuated with someone in your first tenure of your marriage. You could be really infatuated with them. But you could probably be wanting to kill their ass in the 20th year of your marriage. People grow apart. People grow up. There's things about people that you just cannot control a lot of times. So no matter how much, like, freedom that you give them, or say, hey, come back, that you can always meet somebody else that can present the exact same thing. You could look at your person and say, you know, different time, different day. But 9 times out of 10, I just don't think that works. It's a bunch of people who rob banks. They think they won't get caught, but they still try. Even knowing that they can get life. People kill. People do all these things in this world that they know that there's laws and boundaries that they can do. If they can get away with it, they can. And if they can't, they can't. This is the same thing with relationships. Can you prevent a cheater? If he's a cheater, you don't know. You're not going to know he's a cheater, for one, because he's going to hide that. Like, just like...
But a person only hides something when they think they're not supposed to have it. People hide stuff that they took because they don't want the other person to know. If you're the person in the relationship that they don't have to hide anything from, then why are they hiding? It's kind of stupid. Right now, I'm in a relationship that if that person lied to me about anything, it would just be stupid. Because you don't have to lie. I'm not the person you have to lie to.
I feel that, but also, even with that being said, like, I've been in a relationship that someone that was a kleptomaniac, stole for just no reason, just steal and steal and steal and steal. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, why the fuck are you stealing? Like, everywhere we go, you got a candy bar in your pocket. Like, you just picking up shit for just, like, no reason. Like, have the money, but just can't help they fucking self. But as much as I say, why are you stealing that shit? Like, you can't steal. That person has to make the decision to not want to steal. And that's the same thing with cheating. A cheater can change. A cheater don't have to always be a cheater. But that person makes the decision that I don't want to fuck over this person no more. I don't want to fuck with Sharonda no more down the street. I don't want to have this other person. I just want to... There ain't nothing you can do to change the mind of that person. They can love you. And just because they love you don't mean that cheating that they consider is something that won't hurt you. Because even cheaters, that's why they are apologetic. Because a lot of times they don't mean to hurt you. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. They don't mean to hurt you, but they're a cheater. And they're not going to get looked at the same way as a kleptomaniac, because most people not going to therapy and getting diagnosed with, I think you're a serial cheater. You know what I'm saying? You can get diagnosed with being a kleptomaniac. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when you go in front of the judge, diagnosis or not, you going to jail. You know what I'm saying? And I can show up in my relationship with doctor's papers saying, I am a serial cheater, baby. I'm serious. I can't even control this shit. And she going to look at me like I'm crazy. And she's still going to either cry, kick, scream, say leave, want me to come back, or whatever the case may be.
I think my point was, the word cheating does not exist in certain relationships because those people just don't have to. Mm-hmm. And if they do cheat, they are creating that self-sabotage for themselves because you are in a situation where you just don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like my wife smoked crack, but I'm going to smoke mine down the street at Jimmy's house and then go home like I ain't had none.
Yeah, but
your agenda's different. But your wife smoked crack, so there's no reason for you to do that unless you just don't want to share your crack with her.
Yeah, but some people,
you understand what I'm saying?
But people do adapt a lot of times. Like I've been with women who don't necessarily like boxing or necessarily don't like basketball, and then next thing I know, they watching basketball. Like sometimes people adapt to scenarios that surround them. Someone that's not a drinker becomes a drinker. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, like, if you see that a person is really, really good, that can change a cheater's mind. But maybe it won't, because the flesh is weak. We all know this, especially when it comes to men. Your woman can treat you as good as they want to. And I'm not knocking women for doing that. But even when you start bringing up people, like, I don't consider Jada a bad person. But do I consider what she did some bullshit when she had all the freedom in the world to talk to this man? But you on national TV talking about it's an entanglement, talking about... And if a man would have said, well, shit, I was in an entanglement, everybody would have cried bullshit. But because Jada Smith is saying it's an entanglement, it's being accepted. But you also got to remember, Will gave her everything. Everything. But she looking at another man talking about, but he needed my help at this point in time. This is one of Dave Child's
and
friends.
That's what made it really bad, was because it was a child's friend, and it really fractured the relationship between mom and son, as well as what I've been reading lately, is that their relationship is really fractured.
But my point
because of what she did.
But my point is, look at all the freedom that he gave, because that's the thing.
Okay, but wait. That's why I'm bringing up the son. That's why I'm bringing up the son. It changed everything. It didn't become, I'm just cheating on my husband. I'm cheating on my husband with my son's friend. That changes the whole fucking conversation. It's not just about me cheating. It's not just about her cheating. Yeah. If it was just about her cheating, it wasn't Jaden's friend, then that would have been a completely different circumstance, and different things would have happened.
Ask Will if he give a fuck whether it was Jaden's friend or not. It wouldn't have mattered whether it was Jay. It wouldn't have mattered. He cares.
No, I'm saying he would have known. I believe that if it was another person, if it was anybody other than her son's friend, they would have had a conversation about it. The question by the Podbean listener was, they had the most open relationship possible to have.
I said, nope, you don't agree.
Okay. They had the most open relationship there was to have. Okay. So, to me, if you're in an open relationship, then my next question is, why did you lie about that particular guy? Because obviously, there have been other relationships that you've had that were okay. So why did you lie about him? She lied because it was the son's friend.
No, she lied because what most cheaters do is they lie. And the other thing is...
why?
Because she was afraid, too.
Because why? I'm still trying to get you to admit that it was the deeper level that it went to. It was the son's friend that caused her to lie.
That's your hypothesis. You don't really know. You're guessing to say,
because I'm saying, if I'm in an open relationship, why am I going to lie about another thing?
But I'm giving you the answer of you're giving your hypothesis. But that don't mean that that's true. She could lie because she's just afraid. She could have lied because, damn, I betrayed Will. There's other things that probably could have...
She's in an open relationship. There is no betrayal in an open relationship. She's allowed to go fuck. So the only reason why she didn't say it is because she was fucking someone that was off limits.
So Will was looking befuddled.
Yes, because she hurt her son. She hurt his son.
You hear this nonsense?
It's not nonsense. Wait. Before you say that, think about what you're saying. You're talking about two people in an open relationship. She is allowed to fuck other people. So you gotta ask your smarter self, then what was the big deal?
And that's why he was like, I want you to repeat to me why this happened. You had a what with him? Because if it was boiling down to just, he didn't say, well, it was his friend and this and that. He said,
that's the
I want you to say no. I want you to say what it is that you did. Because like I said, if it was in reverse, it would have been like, what did you do? I fucked this woman. It wouldn't have mattered whether it was Willow's friend or no shit like that. It would have been, you fucked this person. That's why she changed that word to entanglement, to make it not seem like it was such a bad thing. This is what people do, especially smart, educated people.
It was an entanglement because she hurt more than one person.
They tried to soften the blow, and by some bullshit that she was saying, which every person knows it was bullshit. But at the end of the day, he wanted to make sure. That's why he was stopping her in her tracks to say, like, look, man, just say you fucked someone else. You know what I'm saying? You was in a bad space or whatever the case may be, but you fucked someone else. Like, it doesn't really matter the circumstances. I get that. But I'm telling you as a man, I wouldn't have gave a fuck whether it was the son friend, the nigga down the block. It wouldn't have mattered. Because the only thing would have mattered to me is that you did it. Period.
All I'm trying to say is that situation is completely different because they are in an open relationship already. No. They are allowed to have sex with other people.
That's your concept of what you think it was. Like, I don't subscribe to that just based upon like his reaction, because his reaction is how most
his reaction was the way it was because of who it was with.
No,
I'm trying to tell you.
No, it wasn't. It didn't.
How is he that hurt over that when they have an open relationship? That's my thing I want you to get. That's what I want everybody to get. If you are in an open relationship and your person has sex with someone else, that's not devastating. The only thing that is devastating you is who the fuck they chose.
That's not true. That's by your standards. You don't know what they talked about. You're talking like you were in a relationship. So by you talking about the perspective like you're in a relationship, you don't know. You're giving your perspective of what you think it was. But I did hear certain things about her where she was like, well, I was in a bad place. I wasn't really talking to you.
Meaning she made a bad choice.
That's right. So it really didn't have anything to do with that. So you don't know what they had a conversation with. Look, man, we ain't doing that right now. Let's take time for us to figure out what we gonna do. No. We let you talk because you kept on rambling on with the same horse shit that you was talking about. So stop it right now. Now, because when I said that before, I gave you ample opportunities to give a different scenario. You didn't give one. So now, we gonna stop that. You don't know what happened in their relationship. So if he said at that point in time, listen, we need time to figure out us. We not fucking with nobody, this and that. You don't know why he was upset. That's why I'm giving you different scenarios of what could possibly happen. You are the outside like everybody else is the outside. For years, people have been saying, hey, they got open marriage. We don't really know the details of it, but that's just what's prescribed. But we're not in a relationship. So you can't say 100% why he was hurt. But I can tell you from a man's standpoint, if I find out whether it's friend, foe, whatever this and that, I'm going to be hurt.
So are you saying or admitting that if your woman cheat, it won't hurt worse if she cheated with your best friend?
No,
you're saying that it don't matter if it's a dude you don't know versus a dude you know. You just hurt the same way. It's not hurt double because not only did you get betrayed by your woman, you got betrayed by your friend. You cannot say one does not hurt worse than the other one.
Yes, you can.
If you fuck the dude from Winn-Dixie that you're never going to see again,
yeah, I can't
that's
say that.
a hurt, yes. But it ain't as hurt as you fucked the dude I've been friends with for the last 20 years.
I can't say that.
That hurt different.
I can't say that. The same way that you were sitting there talking about, well, shit, it only happened like one time. Like, I'm still like a player. Like, it still hurt. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, don't tell me that one hurt don't equate to another because you got hurt right when you left to go off to college and play. Well, I ain't never gonna get hurt again. And then got hurt again, and then was like, well, which one hurt better? Which one hurt worse?
I can tell you which one hurt worse.
But you just said that one
hurt more than the other.
Exactly, and that's what I'm telling you. One can hurt worse than the other.
I just been telling you that one can hurt worse than the other when you said it didn't. You said it's
I said it wouldn't matter to me what guy that she chose because I'm still gonna be hurt. I said that across the board. Just because it's a friend isn't gonna make it like, oh, it's a lighter blow or this and that.
No, a friend is gonna make it a heavier blow. If my guy fucks some random chick, that's a different argument than if he fucked my friend that I've been friends with for 20 years.
That's right. And if my woman betrayed my trust about something that we already discussed, that is going to hurt me way more because you violated something that we already talked about. So, with that being said, you don't know what they talked about. So you can't say what is be hurting. You're just using your idea of what you're seeing going on, but you don't really know. He didn't say, oh, well, because she fucked him, you know what I'm saying? Because I really had high hopes for the nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, that really hurt me the most. He didn't say that. He never gave any information to that. That's what you assuming to be that. I'm just letting you know from a man. Men take heartbreak, especially betrayal from a woman when they cheat a lot differently. Fuck an open marriage and any of that type of shit. Because even with open marriages, there still has to be a line of communication. It isn't like we have open relationship and then everything is like on. It's like, hey, nothing matters because we're in an open relationship. That's bullshit.
There's still rules.
Like, you can have an open relationship and then he fuck your cousin. He gonna say, well, we had an open relationship. Like, your cousin shouldn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean? It's open. You see what I'm saying? It still has to be a line of communication that goes on.
Got Diggler on the line.
What's up, Diggler?
He's not gonna speak.
Hold up. One more time.
You
gotta put him on speaker.
Let's Swaz put you on speaker. I can't hear you.
I'm on it right now. Hold on. Technical difficulty. 1, 2, 5, 7. All right, Diggler.
Put him on
Not
speaker.
on speaker.
I am. Oh, Diggler.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Go now.
What's going on with you?
What's happening?
Everything's smooth, man. What y'all got going on over there?
Man, we having one of these intense conversations about
The topic we're on now is, can you prevent cheating? And my answer was absolutely, and that's by giving your partner as much freedom as they need to just do them. And I don't feel like they would have to cheat. I feel like if they wanted to sleep with someone else because you allowed them to be transparent with you, they'll just tell you. And once they tell you they want to go have sex with somebody, that's not technically cheating anymore. It becomes a dialogue, a part of the dialogue. I only think you can create the environment for cheating because you have so many rules and guidelines for your relationship. If a person really gonna want to go do them, they're gonna go do that with your blessing or not. So why not create an environment that you could just be transparent and tell someone what you need?
Do you think that works?
Well, cheating ain't cheating like it used to be. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you where the new cheating comes from. If I'm walking around with my girl and I see another chick, you know what I'm saying? Me, I'm gonna ask my girl, hey man, look at her. You like that? You know what I'm saying? Then it go from there. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? If you gotta sneak and do it, man, that's another thing. Cheating there.
Okay.
So if you gotta sneak and do it, that's not cheating?
That's not, if you sneak and do it, that's
if
cheating.
If you gotta sneak and do it, that's cheating.
That's cheating.
You know what I'm saying?
But let me ask you this: do you believe that if they just giving them freedom, would it stop them from cheating? By you giving them freedom, do you think that it would stop? As a man, your woman say, and you a cheater. Yeah. Do you believe that her just giving you that freedom would it stop you from cheating?
Oh yeah, that's like you know what I'm saying? That's like a kid saying, let me get some of them chips. You know what I'm saying? And you just say, okay, man, here, have the whole bag. I guarantee you that kid ain't gonna finish that whole bag.
He's not.
He can't finish the bag because he gonna get full.
He gonna be full.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but do you think a man can get? So you saying you think a man can get full off pussy?
If she let him do.
No, can a man get full off pussy?
Why are you trying to change the subject?
He gonna get tired.
He's sticking on the subject.
I am on the subject.
You know what I'm saying? Because our adrenaline go off of you know what I'm saying, sneaking and doing it.
But do you think a man will get full off pussy?
That's don't got nothing to do with this
conversation.
conversation.
And when I say full, I mean bored. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. So if he's not bored, you think he'll do it? He'll stay faithful.
It's gonna be boring by her saying, "Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead."
Go on out there.
Yeah,
it takes the excitement out of it. I agree 100%. It takes the taboo away. That's what I'm saying. You put a kid in a candy store and tell the kid to have one box of fucking lemon heads once a day. He's not gonna fucking do it. He's surrounded by chocolate and peppermint and licorice. He's gonna want to taste everything. So restricting him is making him want it more. If you say, hey, You can have a piece from every category. Just come ask first or eat one box and not two. He's going to be more acceptable to that because you are telling him, yes, you can have all the candy. You just have to have it in moderation and talk to me about it first.
Gotcha. And you're talking about someone with discipline, but we also talking about a cheater. So people who are cheaters, just like someone who is obese, like you cannot control like what they are or what they do. That's just like people who have animals is fucking pets that are wild exotic animals. You cannot take the fucking tiger out of a tiger. You can't take a lion out of a lion. You can't take the ape or gorilla out of a gorilla. You can give them as much freedom as you want. You can give them food. You can do all that shit. Even like with vicious dogs. Or not too recently, I just saw Benny Siegel on a podcast saying he had a pet alligator. And he was like, the alligator attacked him because he was like, I didn't feed him in a week. At the end of the day, they can return to the natural habitat.
So what you're saying is a cheater is going to be a cheater no matter the environment. If you say to your man that, hey, you can do whatever you want, the cheater in him is still going to make him sneaky.
Exactly.
That I cannot disagree with.
And that's why I said, but we're talking about cheaters. So that's
we're trying to figure out how we could prevent it.
Yeah.
And to me, putting somebody in a situation where they don't have to cheat is the closest you're going to get to preventing.
I mean, I get that, but that's also why I give these type of examples, because it's like you have freedom. You know what I'm saying? And as far as I know, none of us like being locked up. But people who rob banks, if they can get away with it, that's fine. But that does not escape the fact that you're free. America gave you your freedom, and then they say, hey, you can go work, you can go do all these type of things. You don't got to steal. You know what I'm saying? And then you like, but I'm a thief.
I'm gonna go do it anyway.
I'm a thief. Like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even though they give you all this other opportunity to make money the legal way, a thief is still a thief. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. A cheater is still a cheater. Like, I understand what he was saying, but that's why I brought up, I was like, but is there a such thing? Like, when I say a kid, he stops because he's full. But let's just say if he was obese, he would finish the whole goddamn bag. You see what I'm saying? Even though he gave him permission to do it. You know, but it's not like he looked at the bag and was like, well, let me not eat the whole thing. If you can't, you stop. But what if he could?
Well, I think the idea that being allowed to creates a different type of endorphin in your head. You could do what you want. Do you have to be a glutton? For what? If you're going to choose to be a glutton, give me a good reason why. If I said, you know what, you can have all the chips you want, and I come home and all 10 bags of chips that I had in the house is gone, I want to have a conversation with that person and say, if you know you can eat all the chips you want every day, then why did you feel like you needed to eat all 10 bags in one day? That's a different problem. And you may be able to identify some type of disorder that leads to a person being glutton. You might be able to identify the issue that needs therapy, because there might be other reasons why a person who doesn't have to steal steals. There might be a chemical reason why someone who doesn't have to cheat cheats. There might be a chemical reason why a kid who can eat when they want still chooses to be a glutton.
Yeah, but we all know that. But that doesn't change the fact that people still do it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, everything has an excuse, but that does not change the fact that people do it.
And people also tap in. So we're going to talk about the tap in of the night. Tap in of the night is comes just from a young lady that listens to the show who said that she has a very sexually explicit past. And it actually came up in a conversation. I don't know what it was, whether she saw a show or whether we were looking at a program together. And she said, you know what? I did that. She was like, and I mean, it was nasty. And it was from this dude that went to school here and blah, blah, blah. She was like, but so-and-so don't know. I'm like, your boyfriend doesn't know? She was like, no, I just kept that out of the conversation. So her advice or her question to me was, do you think I should say something? And why would it be relevant at this point?
I mean, every circumstance is different. It depends on the relationship that you have with your spouse or significant other. So if it doesn't matter to you that you feel like you could be good being a liar or a cheater or just not say anything, and you can be in the mirror and look at yourself.
She wasn't a liar and a cheater. she has a sexually explicit past with an individual that she purposely left off of her list. Because remember our last one of our shows, we talked about all of our the people we've had sex with. Who, what do you call it? Body count. We were talking about body counts. Okay. And there's one particular situation that she was in that she feels like is a very sexually explicit part of her life. Meaning, if she is asked the question, where did you have the nastiest sex? Like the top 3 nastiest sex, he would be in the top 3 nastiest sex. And she did not tell her current person about this sexually explicit relationship that she was in. Gotcha.
Well, that does make her a liar because she's not divulging it. It's just like, because to me, like, it's even when men say, hey, we don't divulge that. We're not gonna be looked at like we ain't a liar. The woman is gonna be like, why'd you lie? Because you didn't tell me. So that's why I say it depends on the relationship that she has with that person. The first question I would have is, why did you leave it off? It has to be something that you're afraid of, that has you not telling the person you with of this nasty sexual experience. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for me, a lot of times, like, people that I've been with, when we have pillow talk, I don't hold nothing back. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I feel like it might hurt their feelings, I still don't hold the shit back. Like, it's me. It was before you. It don't have nothing to do with you, like, whatsoever. And that's just my mentality towards it. So I don't really care if it hurt their feelings or not. Because if they ask or we're talking about that, I tell it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can understand, because I also said that there are certain women that be like, they don't like talking to they man about sex because, well, my man got upset, or he's insecure. I said one time that I had sex with this guy and it was the biggest dick I ever seen. Well, that's, to the other man, he's able to write his own narrative. So by her saying that, she automatically put him in a smaller category. But that ain't what she was saying. But that's how he took it. You understand what I'm saying? So it would be the same thing with this. There's a reason why she's leaving this off. Because it could be her partner that he's jealous, or whatever the case may be. But that don't stop it from being, just because she don't divulge it don't mean that she ain't lying.
Well, I didn't take it as her lying.
I get you.
Because
I'm not saying she's lying like that, but
and I didn't take it as a cheating thing because it was in the past. So I really focused on, am I wrong? The question was, am I wrong for leaving that out, and why is it relevant now? So I'll stick to that. I only would think it were relevant if it became a topic of conversation to where you have to state fact.
But wasn't that the thing? Because the reason that was being said is because she asked.
No,
right?
he did not ask.
Okay, so
it was just that while she was listening to the topic of body counts, she just made a comment. Well, I didn't divulge all mine. So, I do not think that she's wrong. I just think there's a time and a place. I think that there will be a time where if that specific question is asked, that yes, she should tell the truth if it's asked specifically. But out of the blue, to tell someone that you had a very sexually explicit past with this one individual might seem a little off cuff or unnecessary at the wrong time. So I won't say that not telling the truth isn't the right thing to do. I was under the impression that the question was asked. So that's why I said that. It was just, hey, I do have this sexually explicit relationship that he doesn't know anything about.
If the conversation haven't been had, then no, it's
no reason
just to say it. Now you're just saying shit just to be saying
just to say it, and that's how I think it would come off.
Now, if the question has been asked, that would be the answer that I gave before.
Right. And what I mean by fact is, I'm going to be literal. I'm going to be like your attorney. If you're driving by campus and the dude was like, you know what? I never fucked anybody that went to BCU, have you?
For sure.
You understand what I'm saying? But that's when you're putting somebody in a situation to tell a lie. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? If he didn't ask that question specifically, there's no reason to out yourself. That's my advice to our listener. So that's our show, guys. My name is Kaynah Lassiter. You can find me on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Kaynah Lassiter.
You can find your boy on both platforms, IG and Twitter, under 51 Spade. Hey, please follow us on Podbean. I want to thank all the listeners for participating, and follow us on IG. The Relations Podcast. That's DA_relations_podcast. Alpha Male God Creation. If you're looking for the shirts on IG, and it's www.alphamalegodcreations.com. And like I always say about this time,